वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेशमनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्य माव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम् सन्धियं येन्द्रियाग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषामव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिरवाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्। मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय। अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्मा परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि। अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्। श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्। अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः। मय्यार्पितमनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते जयः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगै मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः। अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्षः उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समः सङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिरमौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धाना भक्तास्तेऽतीव मे प्रियः ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता सुपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्ण अर्जुन संवादे भक्तियोगो नाम द्वादशोऽध्यायः हरिः ओम तत्सत् हरिः ओम तत्सत् हरिः ओम तत्सत् श्री कृष्ण परमस्तु शुभं भूयात् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
उपस्थित भगवत भक्तों के रूप में मेरी अपनी ही आत्माओं, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता भगवान के मुखार बिंद से निकली हुई अमर वाणी है और जो भी जीव श्रद्धा सहित इस अमर वाणी को धारण करता है वो जीवत्व को छोड़कर ईश्वरत्व की प्राप्ति करता है, इसमें कोई संशय नहीं। ये जीवात्मा चाहे जिस देश में रहे और चाहे जिस भेष में रहे, गीता सबका सब काल में समान रूप से कल्याण करने वाला एक अनुपम एवं अलौकिक ग्रंथ है।
ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशम् स्यादिलाशम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतम् bandhanan mrityu mukshiyamamrita. Trimbakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhanan mrityo mukshiyamamritat. Om Trimbakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhanan mrityu mukshiyamamritat. Om Trimbakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhanan mrityu mukshiyamamritat. Om Trimbakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhanan mrityu mukshiyamamritat. Om. Dia thao began se mahabegan se rajasamutkate swaha. Dia thao began se mahabegan se rajasamutkate swaha. Dia thao began se mahabegan se rajasamutkate swaha. Diya taum began se mahabegan se rajasamutkate swaha. Diya taum began se mahabegan se rajasamutkate swaha. Diya taum began se mahabegan se rajasamutkate swaha. दुखियों के दुख दूर करे। जय जय श्री कृष्ण हरे। जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो, जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो, जब कोई न केवल हारा हो, तब तू ही बेड़ा पार करे। जय जय श्री कृष्ण हरे। जय कृष्ण हरे। श्री कृष्ण हरे। जय कृष्ण हरे। श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों के दुख दूर करे। जय जय श्री कृष्ण हरे। तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे। विष को भी अमृत कर दे, पूर्ण कर दे उसकी आशा। जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे। जय जय श्री कृष्ण हरे। जय कृष्ण हरे। श्री कृष्ण हरे। जय कृष्ण हरे। श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों के दुख दूर करे। जय जय श्री कृष्ण हरे। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमादनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। वासुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं can now gently and slowly open your eyes and know that you are a unique and beautiful spiritual being of pure consciousness, and all you have to do is to shine brightly, and you will be helping the world and the universe. Stay blessed. Rama.
सुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. A very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for being with us tonight. I would like to invite our Guru Bhai Joshiji to please take it over from here. Joshiji, over to you.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Om Sana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviyam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvisavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dear friends, we had a very, very auspicious last few days. We celebrated Navratri, very powerful 9 days to accumulate and restore high-powered divine energy, which comes twice a year. And then yesterday we had Vijayadashmi or Dasera, a very, very significant day in our life when Sri Ram won over Ravana, the winning of Sat over Asat, winning of right over wrong. So that was the day of victory, Vijay. So I thought, why not I discuss for a few minutes little differently? So I chose to go backward today. And I start with the last verse of Bhagavad Geeta. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdara, Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Whenever there is a Sri Krishna, Lord of all yoga. Some people call it yoga, but I prefer to say yoga. And wherever there is Arjun, supreme archer, a karma yogi, bhakti yogi, jnana yogi, there will be always victory, unquestionably, prosperity, righteousness, and good sound policy. And who says it? This was a declaration of Sanjay, who got the divine vision from Sri Vedavyas, just for the sake of describing to Dhrishtas what is happening in Mahabharata war. Actually, Dhrishtas was offered to get the divine vision to see it, but he refused. And as such, Sanjay was defeated to narrate him what was going on. And Sanjay was thrilled by discussing and watching the whole thing. Taking one verse backward, Sanjay said, "Thus have I heard this wonderful conversation between Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudev, and Arjun, the noble-hearted son of Partha. So thrilling is the message that my hair is standing on end." He was supposed to be telling Dhrishtas what is happening, but he got carried away and he had his hair standing on end. So it shows how powerful this divine scripture has been given to us. And if we go what really happened, if we try to copy Arjuna, imitate Arjuna, and see after all those good things that he heard, what did Arjuna feel? Very popular verse, Nasto moha smritir labda tvaspasha dharmaya chuta isisosmi gata sandeha kaishi vachanam sava. Arjuna said, "Oh, infallible one, Sri Krishna, by your grace my illusion has been dispelled, and I am situated in knowledge, and I am now free from doubts, and I shall act according to your, Sri Krishna's instructions as given in Bhagavad Geeta." Remember here, Moh comes in discussion. And whole Mahabharata started with Moh that Dhrishtas had towards Duryodhana in particular and Kauravas in general. In our life, if we ever get into disagreement, get angry, get carried away, get attached, it's all because of Moh. So Arjuna says, not so Moh. So maybe we should think and talk about what is Moh and how to get rid of it, how to nurse it. And so many things have been brought up in Bhagavad Gita. Even every other verse you can take it and talk about this. This Moh has to be converted into prema of like Surdas, like Mira. When there is no attachment, it's only love, love, and love towards everyone, all human beings. Now I get quickly to fifth verse, in which it says how to get towards becoming Arjuna. This verse is very popular. I'm using these popular verses so we get a little more involved. Yajna dana tapa karma nastyajam karyameva sat Yagyo Danam Tapasteva Pavanani Manishina. Action based upon sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned, because they must certainly be performed. Indeed, why? Because acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are purified or even enlightened people, even who are wise, enlightened, who have reached to that stage. Even these yajna and sap purifies them. So, to become Arjuna, to become victorious, to be on the side of Lakshmi, to be on sound policy, we must follow certain powerful instructions by Sri Krishna, and these are some of them. Yajna, dana, and sap karma should never be tyajam, avoided. And if I go back to the first verse that I brought up, we can clearly understand Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara. See, there are two words used, Yatra and Yatra, both for Yogeshwara Krishna and also for Partha Dhanurdhara. Previously, Arjuna was what his vasanas created him. His habits, his devotion, it was different from the rest of his four brothers, because everyone is created differently according to their past life. So Arjuna was different, and that difference made him give up on the war after watching their grandfather and gurus and relatives and father-in-laws and brother-in-laws. But here in this verse, this word yatra is used for them, Sri Krishna and Arjuna. At this time, with the grace of Sri Krishna, with the grace of Mother Bhagavad Geeta, Arjuna has become Krishna, Krishna has become Arjuna. Look at Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara. And when we become fully enriched Arjuna like us, after learning even part of Bhagavad Gita, we become divine, become like Krishna. And remember, 15th verse of 15th chapter clearly says, it's a declaration by Sri Krishna, and also a Jnana Yoga chapter, that I alone reside in the heart of all mankind. So we are all divine, but due to so many unbecoming things that we have done in our life, past life, and many, many more, we cannot feel that Krishna is in our hearts. But he mentioned very clear, Sarvasya chaham hridisannivito, matta smrtir jnanam apohanam cha, vedasya sarvairahameva vedyo, vedant kadveda videva chaham. He is in all of us' hearts, but we cannot feel it because of our karma, and we are not yet qualified to have that feeling. With the grace of our Guru, Swami Hari, who has shared his tapasya, giving us the initiation, Diksha, he has given that little Ganges that came from Shiva's head. He has given the Ganges like power to us. That power is living in us, all of us. But Sri Krishna says very clearly, Mastaha smritir jnanam apohanam sa. From me emanates the memory. Memory for you to feel and know and experience the Krishna in your heart. And also Apohanam cha. I make you forget too. So many of us are very close to knowing that we are divine, but many more don't even think that they are divine, because this is what Sri Krishna said. So, how to get close to Sri Krishna? Using Gurudev's blessing, doing Karma Yoga, doing Bhakti Yoga, doing Jnana Yoga, whatever way your past karmas bring to you, but know for sure that he is in your heart. It is Krishna declares himself. When you meditate on Krishna, when you meditate on Guru, when you meditate on any of the few verses that you like, you surely will start having hair stand on your skin and feel that time, yes, I am truly divine and I'm getting there, I'm on the right road to reach the beauty of Himalaya. No question about it. To be mentioned, Yajnadan and Tap must be done. They are purifier of human beings. And now, I love this verse. I use almost in all the times that I'm asked to talk about any topic, I bring up this. And I say, this is like Lord Krishna's insurance policy. He guarantees it. Masucho, why not? I guarantee it. Sar Dharman Paitajya, Mamekam Sarnam Vaja, Aham Toam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayikshami Masucho. A very easy and very straightforward guarantee, without premium, directly from Sri Krishna. Sir Dharman Paitajya, come on, don't get into these different kind of message and messy things. Come to my shelter. And then he promises that he will clean up all of your sins of many past lives that you have been through. And I guarantee you to get moksha. Moment you know that Krishna says it, you prostrate before him, prostrate before your Guru, meditate on him, and feel you are getting close to Sri Krishna. But how do you Paitajya Sarva Dharma? How do you get rid of Sarva Dharma? And once I asked to a professor from Montreal University, he came to Champaign in our national conference, and he brought up this verse. And I asked him, sir, can you explain a little bit Sarva Dharma and Paitajya? What dharma was Krishna talking about? He said, my dear sir, I'm only going to discuss what I know. I cannot answer that question. So I asked Gurudev, what third dharma Sri Krishna is talking? We only have the dharma, that's what we think, what thoughts come. And our thoughts come through our 5 Jnanendriyas. And those Jnanendriyas are eyes that distracts us from realizing divine. Ears, taste, touch, speech. These must be controlled with the principle of Bhagavad Geeta. And sure enough, these are the dharma, Gurudev says, is our dharma. The humankind dharma is how to use these 5 Jnanendriyas as if you are already divine. Never speak ugly. Don't participate listening ugly. Don't see the bad things. don't try to enjoy touching which you know is not right, and so on and so forth. And as such, it has been very clearly mentioned in the 8th verse of 12th chapter. Sri Krishna clearly says, give me your mind, your vivek will also reside in me. Mind is nothing more than a blank world, and it is also very powerful because these 5 Gyanendriyas, we make it powerful. We give the mind the power. It doesn't need anything, but we using right or wrong these 5 Gyanendriyas make this mind very good, very bad, very ugly, and very strong. So chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga, and the 8th verse clearly says that we must use our 5 Gyanendriyas, 5 instruments in the right direction. What direction? Think of Sri Krishna sitting in your house. Sarvasya Chaham Madhisanivesh. Think about it. And slowly, slowly, with His grace, with Gurudev's blessing, we will start feeling that yes, we are part of that divine. And remember, Mamai Vanso Jivaloke, he has said many times, whole Jivaloke is my fragrant part. So you will start feeling, he will get you the memory that you need to feel this. He promised that. Matta smati jnanam aponam cha. For me emanates the memory. So he will do, if you do your job, he will run coming to you and give you, because that's what he's waiting for. That's why he's giving us birth after birth after birth. The one birth, hopefully this last one, we will get it. And I'm sure with the grace of Bhagavad Gita, we will get it. So these 3 verses I chose to reinforce Sarvasya Madhisanivisto Matta Smati Jnanam Apunam Cha Vedesya Sarvairahameva Vedyo Vedanta Sarvaya Davideva Chaham. I use this verse also very frequently, and Swami Gita Kiran was present in Chicago International Gita Conference. When Gurudev says this mantra is a very powerful mantra, it can make things happen in your favor. If you have a court case, recite this mantra, make this mantra sit, and very likely you will win that case. It has the power to change your adversary. And he gave some examples, those who were there in the conference know very well. And then Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hadesya Arjun Tishtasi. Again, Sri Krishna says, the God sits in everyone's heart, Arjun. They don't realize it. And they get into Maya, and I let them do it, get caught again in the Maya, and keep coming back. But he says, I am there, and 15th verse, make it, I sit there, and for me, come the memory, and by being devotee of Sri Krishna, we will realize it. Then I use this verse, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamikam Saranam Bhajo Am Swasarva Papebhyo Mokshami Master. And we have talked about, Dr. Prasad has talked about so many times we have heard 5th verse of 6th chapter. We are our best friend and we are our worst enemy. And Bhagavad Gita says, you are free, independent to do whatever you want to do. I have told you what to do, what is Sat, Asat, Rasik, Tamsik, Sattvic. You are free to do, and then reap the reward. And Bhagavad Gita gives us a very clear, simple way. And folks, friends, we are very fortunate that we meet every Sunday There are 2 sessions on Sunday, first in the morning, one in 10:30, coming from California. That we see Gurudev's picture. We bring him live. On Sunday, when we see him, it looks like he's there. We are not with him, but I'm in Chicago, I feel he's in Canada. People in Canada feel he's in Thailand. He is there. He's live. We feel that way very clearly. At this time, I will conclude. I took a longer time because our brother Peter is on vacation today. He has gone to his son's place in San Francisco. I hope you tolerated me for extra minute. And with this, let's have the blessing of Gurudev and use that powerful mantra. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramazanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. By thanking Swami Geeta Kiranji, I humbly request our highly regarded Dr. Prasadji to give us the nitty-gritty of verses of Bhagavad Gita, which you cannot find anywhere. We are fortunate that we are with him. Dr. Saab, it's all yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Josiji. Thank you very much indeed. Let me start with prayer to Bhagwan. Vansi vibhusita kara navnirdabha pitambara darunabimba phaladharosta Purnendu sundara mukha Arvind netra Krishnat param kimapi tat tvamaham na jane. Prayer to Gurudev Bhagwan. Ajnanatimirandhasya jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Divine souls, Jai Sri Krishna to all of you. As you know, we have been going through verse 11 of chapter 4. And by and large, we have covered explanation of the first half. Ye yatha amam prapadyante tans tathaiva bhajamyaham. And today, I shall deal with the second part briefly. Mam vartamanu vartante manusyah parth sarvasah. Now you can see the way this has been put in. The first half, Bhagwan says, I respond to how people approach me. So it is question of approach by people and my reaction to that, my response to that. But the second part, he says, Mama vartamanu vartante manusya parth sarvasa. That means the way I approach, people respond to that. So it is the other way. The first part, he says, I respond to how people approach me. And second part, he is saying that people respond to how I approach them. So this has to be taken into our understanding. We have dealt with in detail about this part. I will not go through that. But let me just mention a bit about this, because this has also been explained. If you recall, the same wordings as appeared in verse 23 of chapter 3. This part is exactly the same as in verse 23 of chapter 3. Mama vartamanu vartante manusya partha sarvasa. But the first part, upper half, the first half here is different. It is yadihayam na varteyam jatu karmanya tandritaha. And you will recall that this was mentioned by Bhagwan because he said, Namam parthasi kartavyam trisu lokesu kinchanam mam vaptabam vaptamya vartaeva cha karmani. There is nothing for me to perform or to act for anything, nor I need anything from anybody. So the way I see, I need not work. But he says, if I do not work, people will also give up working. For the sake of yadi hyayam na vardeyam jatu karmanya tandritah. So I perform, I engage myself in action. Because if I do not act, people will follow my path in their everyday life. So to give, but of course he says, Namam karmani limpanti, name karma phale spraha. When he performs, it is different. He is divine. Janma karma cha me divyam. Several times, several places he has explained that my taking action is different because I don't have to have any prolovan for that or any desire to attain something, nor there is need for me to collect and keep it and protect it. All those things are not required by me. Obviously, every action, everything which in the world is created by him, but then he is also again a karta, because he has he makes use of Maya, Prakriti, for performing action on his behalf, under his direction. Maya dakshena Prakriti suyate sacharacharam. So here Bhagavan is saying that I engage myself mainly for the purpose so that people should not give up action. They have to perform action. But then my action is such that it is worth following by people so that they attain me, they attain Brahma. And examples have been set by Avatar, which has been mentioned. I am quoting one from Valmiki Ramayana, where Bhagavan Ram tells him about what he will do if his father, King Dasarath, asks him to do. And this is a wonderful verse where it says, Aham hi vachanadharagya pateya mati pavake bhakshiyeva visham tikshnam pateya mati charnave. He says, if my father tells me I can submit myself to fire, pateya mati pavake, I can jump into the fire. Bhakshiyeva visham tikshnam, I shall be prepared to swallow bitterest of poison. And even pateyam vicharnave, I shall be ready to jump into the sea. So the commitment Bhagavan is saying that to just one, there are hundreds of hundreds of Purushottam, Maryada Purushottam Bhagwan Ram, throughout his whole life, has performed each and every action which is exemplary, which can be followed. This is one example I'm setting, I'm putting here. So the idea is what we should do, what we need to do. What we need to do is strictly follow our kartabya karma, whatever bounded duty we have. That's what Bhagwan Ram did. And to perform the result of performing action which you do not have, which is your duty to perform, without eye on the fruit of the action, that is the duty each one of us should perform. At the same time, when it says mama vartamanu vartante, when I perform in one way, if it is ideal in a family, if the father or mother performs the action before the children, which is exemplary, children will follow. Not the one which is often done. You are taking tea inside with children all around you, and somebody calls at the door. You tell your children, tell their father is not inside the house. Father has gone somewhere else, because you want to avoid somebody. This is a common way of avoiding to talk to somebody who has come, knocked at the door. And when you say to children, tell the fellow who has come at the door that your father is not in the house, you're telling lie. What the children will follow when they will also do the same thing when they grow up. So the question is, what is required? What is your bounden duty? It should be performed the way which is ideal. And also when we interact with people, it should also be exemplary. And one of the wonderful verse 18 of chapter 12, we all know, Samaha satrau cha mitre cha tatha mana apamanayo sitosna sukha dukkhesu sambaha sangha vivarjita. Equanimity. Maharaj used to talk on samatva bhav many times. He has spoken, and I just stressed on these two words, samatva bhav, equanimity. That should be inculcated. And also, verse 15 of chapter 12, Yasmano dujate loko, lokano dujate chaya. We should perform in such a way that when we deal with them, when we talk them, when we behave them, it does not produce agitation in the mind of the person you are interacting with. And when they interact, you also should not get agitated. So the question of keeping ourselves cool and calm, calculated, not to get overwhelmed, not to get upset, not to respond violently. These are the qualities of bhakta which 12th chapter has taught us, and we all the time recite it, but we also must all the time, every time, we must behave ourselves following those directions which Bhagwan has told us. So Bhagwan in this verse, just I will move to next verse, just by repeating again, Bhagwan is saying, Mama vartamanu vartante. When I perform the action, people should follow that. It should be exemplary. We should be able to inculcate in their life the kind of activities which I perform in my life. Moving on, I move to the next verse, that is verse 12 of chapter 4. See, this is pretty simple verse, but there's something to learn from this. The verse goes like this, Kanchanta karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devatah Shipram himanuse loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Kanchantaha, that means you are willing or you desire, you long for karmanaha siddhim, for the fruition of the action. Siddhim of karmana, you perform. You perform and you ajayanta, you worship or you uh, ask for devata. So you go to various devata in order to fulfill certain desires which has come onto you. Longing for the fruition of actions, of their rights and duties, they worship the gods. Why? Chipram hi manuse loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. What happens that in the normal dealing in the human world, success from action comes quickly. That if you want to satisfy a part of your desire, certain desire you have, and you want to fulfill that. For example, if you want to eat some sweet meat, if rasgulla. So if you get rasgulla, you satisfy your tongue, and that's all. The moment it goes down, that it doesn't last long. You have taken the sweet meat, you have enjoyed it, and it has gone. So you again long for some other thing. So these are the fulfillment of the need of various sense organs in our body. What happens? The sense organs all the time look towards sense objects. And when we come into the world, the desire to fulfill one another desire, all the time there is urge from within. The beautiful example is given that in a newborn baby, when a baby is born, who gives the body that urge to suck mother's milk? Nobody teaches. As soon as the baby is put to the mother's breast, the function of sucking starts within the baby without any teaching. And the action of swallowing goes and it goes into the tummy. So why it is happening? Because there is need for the body to have nutrition. There is hunger within. To satisfy that, there is action is taken, and that automatically goes. The action is automatically taken in because that is inbuilt. That is the simplest example given by psychologists who will tell you how the human behavior takes into effect even from the time that baby is born. Then, of course, as the baby grows, you'll find some of them are attracted towards one type of toy and other will hate it. So if there is brother and sister, one may not like to go toward the small car toys. On the other hand, the other one will be getting the paper and pen and start drawing something on that. So the urge for one to follow, one to activate one kind of sense organ and activate that, because that sense organ has got from his past life what is called vasana. The vasana, the three gunas, those three gunas, if they're prominent for one particular sense organ, that particular sense organ, what they call is devata. I'm coming to the devata. The sense organs are all under the guidance of the devata for that sense organ. So what happens when there is one particular organ from his past life. If that organ, for example, going to the film, there will be some kid who will, once they start about 9, 10 years old, tell them to go to the film, he will say, no, I don't want it. The other will say, oh, no, I will certainly go. Now, what is that inbuilt in that child which tells him to go towards exhibition of science? The other will hate to go there. One will go towards swimming, other will go towards hunting. The desire for individual, even for the small child, differs tremendously. It's what doesn't go all. If one is having one kind of desire, other will have different one. Because reason behind is that the devata of that sense organ is having that kind of guna, satogun, rajogun, tamogun. If the rajogun of I is active, he will run towards seeing something outside in the garden, flowers. If the ear organ is satoguni or rajoguni or tamoguni, that will take him to musical performance, hearing music and like that. So that is the control of devata, guidance of devata, having certain kind of guna, stogun, rajogun, tamogun. Based on that particular sense organ will behave, and it will be easily done, and they will be satisfied easily too. If you have gone to one place and garden and seen the flower, is satisfied. Somebody goes to the football field to watch the match, football game, he has seen the game and he is satisfied. So these are temporarily outgoing sense and sense object relationship, which is established among in the individual depending upon the activities of their devata of all those various organs in the body. Now, in previous verse, Lord talked about Je jatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. That is level of Bhagwan. Mam prapadyante. While in this verse, he is talking about yajante ih devata. So there is a difference. In the verse 11, we talked about Bhagwan mam prapadyante, then I deal with them. While in this verse, those who want to satisfy their sense objects, they worship the devata of that sense organ, particular sense organ. So if he wants to satisfy his ear, then ear devata. If satisfy the eye devata. If the tongue, skin devata. Nose devata. So there are all these devatas controlling our sense organs. And people, they yajante ih devata. They worship or they go and they try to please that devata so that that sense organ gets contact with the sense object and gets satisfied. Now, the whole philosophy of this activity, this kind of the chain is established. Adi Sankaracharya says it is avidya, kama, karma. It is the ignorance which contains what? Vasana. So the ignorance which is vasana, guna, that leads to desire. And once there is desire, then there is action, there is karma. And when there is karma phala, and then again it goes to the quality of vasana, satogun, rajogun, tamogun, and again there is similarly kama, and there is karma. This cycle of guna, leading to desire, desire leading to action, action leading to further this vasana, guna, and goes on and on. That is the reason Purudapi Maranam, Purudapi Jananam, Purudapi Janadis Sahinam. This goes on one life after another life, and you do not get away from this cycle unless a time comes when we start giving up outside attachment, giving up the outside activity, giving up your association with the outside world. You start, that is called extrovert. As long as you are extrovert, this cycle of repeated life, repeated janm lena or marna, all the time will keep on going. Once you start looking inwards, which most manushyanam sahasresu kaschit yatate siddhaye yatatam avisiddhanam kaschin mam veti tattvataha. I keep repeating this verse because thousands and thousands of people are there. They don't look towards me. They look towards outward. The senses, kanchantaha karmanam siddhim. They keep on desiring things, keep on getting this small desire fulfilled. They worship or they pray or they please those devatas. They are happy. So again, sense keep on going. This has been again beautifully described in verse 23 of chapter 7, where it says, Bhagavan says, Antavantu phalam tesam tadbhavatya talpamedasam devan devya jo yanti mad bhakta yanti mapi. Arjun, antavant phalam tesam. Those, the reward which they accrue after satisfying their desire is antavat. It is short-lived. It is finite. It doesn't last long. It is fickle. It doesn't give them satisfaction for long. For whom? These are alpamedasam. Their intelligence is very poor. They are low intelligence. It's people of a small intelligence. These are the people, because of the vasana in them, they are of the low category, having more rajogun tamogun in them, and they keep running and trying to satisfy their desire. Devan devaya devayo yanti. These are people who worship gods, those gods which are taking care of the various vasanas, various activities that is going on. These people, they are just satisfying their small desires. Mad bhakta mamapi yanti mamapi. But my bhakta, they come to me, they pray to me, they come, they seek refuge in me. But that is very few group of people, small group of people. But by and large, these are alpamedasam. They are men of finite, they are men of small intelligence, and that is the finite one. Now, talking about Devata, little bit of understanding here. I have few minutes. I will just talk about this beautiful piece which I was able to, while going through the literature, I went through something and I learned a great deal which I didn't know before, that a description in great detail has been given in Srimad Bhagavatam in chapter 26, Canto 3, chapter 26, 55. If you Google this Srimad Bhagavatam 3-26.55, you will go through, you will get a huge, large bit of information about development of these devatas which appeared as the body parts start to develop. You see, we know in anatomy, we know about how the fetus comes in and how the fetus, how they grow, and what are the different parts in the fetus start to develop one after another. This is the biology and medical science. We know about it, we have learned about it. Now, the whole thing in different way, I find that mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam and also in Brahma Samhita. But a small piece I have put it here for your information, and please permit me to go through this very hurriedly. The appearance of different bodily parts of Lord's universal form. See, it is describing the Lord's universal form when the world has not come into existence. The form of Bhagavan, universal form, everything is Bhagavan, nothing else. Then, as the parts of the body develop, the bodily parts develop, presiding deity of those body parts start to develop. And the detailed description has been given. As in the womb of a mother, a child gradually grows different bodily parts. So, in the universal womb, the universal form of the Lord gives rise to creation of various paraphernalia. The senses appear, and over each of them there is a presiding deity. It is corroborated by this statement of Srimad Bhagavatam and also Brahma Samhita that the sun appeared after the appearance of eyes of the universal form of the body. See, universal form is there. Now, eyes appear first. As the eyes appear, the deity of that eye comes in and takes control of the functions of the eyes. So he says the sun is the first one. There was no sun before. So sun, appearance of sun is the first one which comes out from the universal form of Bhagavan. The sun appeared, and after the appearance of the eyes, the universal form of the Lord appeared. The sun is dependent on the eyes of the universal form of Bhagavan. Brahma Samhita also says that sun is the eyes of Lord Sri Krishna. Yakshur Sa'e Savita. Savita means sun. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam is the sloka here. Is the sloka here, which meaning I will tell you. In the wake of the olfactory sense came the wind god, Vayu Devata. Olfactory, nose, sans, the smell sensation is governed by wind, Vayu Devata, who presides over that sense. Thereafter, a pair of eyes appeared in the universal form, and in them the sense of sight. In the wake of this sense came sun god, Surya Devata, who presides over it. Next, there appeared a pair of ears, and in them the auditory sense. And in its wake, the Diga Devata, Dikpal, know that those who are deity who preside over the directions. So in this way, all the parts of the body, every part of the body has been described, and every part of the body has a governing deity for them, which controls that. And if you please them, then they're fully satisfied. Now I will stop here, and I think time is up. It's already, I've covered this part. We'll deal with these other parts next time. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Krishna, everybody.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you very much, Dr. Prasad.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prasad. Very, very done. There's time for us to conclude. In case somebody wants to take a minute or two, it's okay, but I think we must conclude now. And thank you, everyone. See you on Sunday morning. Lucky and Thursday.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Yeah, good.
Jai Shri
Jai
Krishna.
Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Gurudev.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai
Krishna.
Shri Krishna. Jayanti, how are you?
Good.
Fine, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Monday night will be the full moon night. I hope to see you all there. And this Monday on the 10th.
Yeah, we will see you.
Jai
We
Shri
will be
Krishna.
there. We will be there. Thank you.